So today's class will begin with a question. I hope everyone can see this. Question number 61 of 2022. Bhaskarabda, which has been added to the official calendar of Government of Assam, is counted from which of the following? Can you answer me? You can text, you can say it
Sir,
directly.
A.
You're saying A. Okay. How many A? So everyone say A, is it? Okay. So the correct answer here is A. Alright, it's A. Let's come to the next question of 2022. So you had 4 questions from APSC 2022 from ancient Assam. Question number 98 here. Consider the following statements about the Varman dynasty. So which of the statements are correct, and use the code below? Tell me now this one.
D.
D. Okay. The rest of you?
D.
Okay, okay.
D.
All right, all right. So the correct,
D.
yeah. So the correct option here is D, only 3. Okay, only 3. Fine. So if your concepts are clear, if you pay attention in the class, you can solve these questions. These are not very difficult type of questions. You can solve these questions, right? So today we will begin with the next dynasty in Assam after Salastamba. So we know Tyaga Singha was childless. Tyaga Singha was childless. So what happened after him? What happened after him? He did not have any sons, so obviously Salastamba dynasty ended. However, there were a lot of political developments, okay? A lot of political developments after Tyaga Singha died. So there were so many things, like, who will be the next king? The king does not have a son, what to do? All right? So among the officials, okay, all the officials of Tyaga Singha, they elected Brahmapala. Okay, they elected Brahmapala. Brahmapala, by the way, was also an official under Tyaga Singha. Official means he was a minister or some officer under Tyaga Singha. So he was elected as the new king by the officials. So that is why he is known as the first elected king of Assam. Okay, Brahmapala is known as the first elected king of Assam. Now, yesterday we have discussed that there is one more group of Pala that is in Bengal. Okay, so do not get confused. Palas of Bengal are different, Palas of Assam are different. All right, but both of them were at the same time, okay, similar times. All right. So in Bengal also we had a Pala dynasty. In Assam also we were having a Pala dynasty. Okay. So this Brahmapala was the first elected king of Assam, who was also a former official of Tyaga Singha. After Brahmapala, his son comes, Ratnapala, one of the major kings in Pala dynasty. Ratnapala issued all these copper plates grants. Borgaon, Hualkusi, Soratbari. Okay. Borgaon, Swalkusi, and Soratbari copper plate grants were given by Ratnapala. He was known for his new capital called Durjaya. Okay, new capital called Durjaya. Can anyone tell me where was Durjaya?
Lord. Guwahati.
Yeah, towards North Guwahati, the Dorong side. Okay, that side. All right. So he made a new capital called Durjaya. And Durjaya, because of this Durjaya, it was so heavily fortified. Okay, it was fortified. It was known as impregnable one, meaning people could not get in easily inside this or could not get out also easily. All right. So trade and commerce began in Assam because of this capital. Okay, from North Guwahati side. All right, trade in Assam began in this capital. Okay, a lot of trade with other nations, other empires also began. So remember this key important point. So Ratnapala's empire extended till Arunachal Pradesh in the east. So modern days Sonitpur, Tejpur, Dorong, all those were covered under Ratnapala. He also used very big titles like Maharaja, Dhiraja, and all those that we will not discuss. He defeated the Rajapala, King Rajapala of Pala Empire of Bengal. Okay, Ratnapala was Ratnapala was influential in defeating one of the kings of Bengal called Rajapala, who also belonged to the Pala Empire of Bengal. So, like I said, at that time we had two Palas, one in Bengal and one in Assam. All right. So Ratnapala defeated Rajapala. So please do not get confused. It might be like used interchangeably. All right. After Ratnapala, we see a rise of another king called Indrapala. Okay, Indrapala. Who was Indrapala? He was the grandson of Ratnapala. Okay, grandson of Ratnapala, because Indrapala's father could not rule. He passed away before he got the throne. So the grandson took the throne after Ratnapala. Okay, Indrapala is known for issuing Guwahati and Guakuchi copper plate grants. Okay, Guwahati and Guakuchi copper plate grants. Now tell me, if anyone can tell me, what is the purpose of this copper plate grants? What was the purpose of this copper plate grants?
Official recording documents.
Huh? Official documents.
It
Okay.
signifies the king sovereignty.
Yeah, that is also there. Plus, it copper plate grants were like official documents, and most of the time it was written that I, the king of this and that, have offered this land. I am announcing this new information to all the people. So all those details were there. So if you can see in the map, okay, if you can see in the map here in the eastern side, you will see the Palas of Bengal, and this side, the rest of this side was Palas of Assam. Okay, so right next to one another. That's why they had a lot of issue also. Okay, however, Indrapala was instrumental in defeating King Kalyan Chandra of Vanga. Okay, Vanga. Where was Vanga then? Anyone knows? Vanga. Can anyone tell me where was Vanga? Indian history.
Present day of Bengal or what, sir?
Present day of Bengal, you say? Okay. Anyone wants to try Vanga dynasty or Vanga kingdom? So Mahendra is right here. Vanga kingdom extended from Bengal and a little bit of your Orissa like this. Okay. So King Kalyan Chandra was defeated by Indrapala. Okay. Indrapala was a master. Master means he had a master's degree. Okay. He was very well learned in grammar, which is called as Pada, Mimamsa, Vakya, logic, that is called as Tarka, and Tantra. Okay, he was very learned. Indrapala was one of the learned kings that we had at that time. So he was very, very learned. he was more he was more good in studying, okay, than to go to wars and all. However, he defeated one of the Vanga kings, that is fine, but he had to ally, okay, he had to ally with Rashtrakutas, okay, he had to ally with the Rashtrakutas. So Rashtrakutas are from here, the Deccan side. So they were expanding towards northeast, okay. So Rashtrakuta allied with Palas of Assam to defeat this Bengal area so that they could expand their territory, Rashtrakutas. So Rashtrakutas alliance was there. So Princess Rajya Devi, okay, there was a princess called Rajya Devi. She was married to Indrapala, okay, she was married to Indrapala, and that is how they had an alliance, Rashtrakuta of the Deccan and Palas of Assam. So yesterday we discussed marriage alliances with whom? From mythical origin also we saw marriage alliances and all talks. Then we come to historical. In Varman dynasty, which alliance was there? Which marriage happened in Varman dynasty? Name the princess of Varman dynasty who got married outside and there was an alliance.
Amrita Prabha.
Amrita Prabha was married to king of Kashmir. Then what about Salastamba? Who was married off from Salastamba, or how did Salastamba had an alliance, marriage alliance? Can anyone remember? So these are the type of questions that you might get. Marriage alliances. Every kingdom had, or every dynasty had marriage alliances with some other countries or some other dynasties at that time. Okay.
Raja Moti married to King of Lichua.
Rajyamati was married to Lichavi, okay, to Lichavi. So with Nepal kingdom, we had marriage alliance, and now in Pala area, Pala dynasty, we see Princess Rajya Devi of Rashtrakuta marrying Indrapala, the king of Pala dynasty. All right. So with the help of this alliance, Indrapala took Pondravardhana, that is your North Bengal, present day North Bengal. This marked area is called Pondravardhana. So we see with the alliance, Indrapala became much more stronger. Okay, they could defeat whoever were ruling in these areas. All right, so that was one achievement of Indrapala. Then comes his son Gopala. See, like I said, Indrapala wanted to study more. He wanted to give time to studies more. So he gave away his throne to Gopala. Gopala comes to power and he issued the Gotstol copper plate, which was found near Doboka. Okay, Gotstol near Doboka. He issued the copper plate. So a lot of copper plates, a lot of inscriptions we have seen so far. Okay, so please keep in mind all this copper plate, all this inscription, very, very important for prelims. All right. After Gopala, we have Harshapala. He was not very strong like the other Palas, like his grandfather, like Indrapala. So he lost Pondravardhana. Who won the Pondravardhana area? Quickly. Which king?
Indrapala.
Indrapala. So his grandfather got Pondravardhana under Assam and grandson lost it. Why? Because there was a new dynasty in Bengal, also the Varman dynasty of Bengal called Jatavarman. Now you might say, sir, why so much similarities with Bengal? Why is so much Varman, Pala similar? Like I said, Varman, what was Varman? Anyone remember?
So it was a misnomer on Brahman.
Yeah, misnomer, as well as those who were learned, they were always writing as Varman. Okay, Dev Varman. Okay, fine. So the Varman dynasty of Bengal, a king called Jatavarman defeated Harshapala, and Harshapala lost Pondravardhana, that is northern Bengal. Okay, northern Bengal again lost. During his time also, Vikramaditya of Chalukya. So Chalukya again Deccan. So they also defeated Rashtrakutas. After Rashtrakutas, it was the Chalukya in the Deccan. Okay, so Vikramaditya VI of Chalukya came inside Assam. Okay, all the way here and attacked Kamrup and defeated Harshapala. Okay, so please keep this in mind. Who defeated Harshapala? Vikramaditya VI of Chalukya, as well as Jatavarman of Varman dynasty. Okay, Jatavarman of Varman dynasty. So please keep that in mind. After Harshapala, the next king is Dharmapala. Okay, Dharmapala issued your Khonamukh, Pushpabhadra, and Subhankara Pataka copper plate grants. Okay, so please remember this. He moved his capital to Kamrup Nagar. So he moved back to old Kamrup, wherever we had Mahiranga, Danav and all these kingdoms. He moved his capital to Kamrup Nagar. So what was the first capital of Pala? Which was the first capital of Pala?
Durjaya.
Durjaya was the first capital of Pala. What was the capital of Salastamba?
Katakeswar.
Hatakeshwar or Horupeshwar. Okay. What was the capital of Varmans?
Kamrup.
Pragjotisa. Okay, Pragjotispur. Okay, Kamrup was the kingdom. Alright. Kamrup was the name of the kingdom. Anyways, same thing. Doesn't matter so much. If you get Kamrup, if you get Pragjotisa, it's the same thing. Alright. So Dharmapala comes into power. He moves his capital to Kamrup Nagar, present day your Guwahati areas. He also reclaimed the lost territories in North Bengal, that is Pondravardhana. So he reclaimed back all the territories that his ancestor lost. Okay, and then he extended the western boundary beyond Karatoya River. So one thing I have to tell you, where was Karatoya River? You have to know that Karatoya River was the boundary between Assam and Bengal at that time, right? So Karatoya River was somewhere here. Can you see this line? Okay, coming from Sikkim, it's coming as Tista now, and there was a river here like this. So this was the boundary of Assam. So all these areas were under Dharmapala. Okay, Dharmapala. So he was a very, very strong Pala king. He also commissioned the writing of Kalika Purana. What is commissioning means? Meaning he gave the permission for writing Kalika Purana. So Kalika Purana was written in this period. What period? Around 980 to 1000 AD. Okay, so Kalika Purana was written during this period of Dharmapala. Okay, during this period of Dharmapala. Fine. After Dharmapala, we see Jayapala, the last of Palas. He was defeated by Rampala of Bengal. Okay, he was defeated by Rampala of Bengal around 1100. Okay, around 1100 AD, he was defeated by Rampala. And after that, Kamrup comes under a rule of Palas of Bengal. Okay, so after that, Kamrup was ruled by Palas of Bengal, and this Pala king, Rampala, he sent Tingya Deva. Okay, he sent a chieftain under, or a warrior under Rampala. So Tingya Deva was made the governor of Kamrup. Okay, Kamrup came under Palas of Bengal, and Tingya Deva was made the governor. However, Tingya Deva rebelled against the next king of Bengal, that is Kumarpala. The son of Rampala comes to power, Kumarpala. So Tingya Deva rebelled and claimed independence. So Kumarpala from Bengal sent Vaidya Deva, who defeats Tingya Deva and takes control of Kamrupa. Again, he also claimed independence from Bengal, which is mentioned in Karnali Grant. So after Palas, Assam or Kamrup descended into lot of chaos, meaning lot of political chaos. Okay, all the kingdoms broke apart. The glorious kingdom of Kamrup broke apart into many pieces, and these outsiders like Vedya Deva, Tingya Deva, they come and they started claiming independence. Okay, they started claiming independence from Bengal. Okay, so this was your ancient Assam period till here, till Palas is the ancient Assam period. So how many dynasties we had historically? 3 dynasties: Varman, Salastamba, and the Palas. Okay, in ancient history. So please remember that. Now we will move on quickly to the art and architecture of Assam at that time. Okay, art and architecture. The first temple we see here is Dau Parbotia temple, which is in Tejpur. It was made before Bhaskar Burman. Okay, before Bhaskar Burman came into throne, it was made around 5th to 6th century AD. So probably around 450 to 500 AD. Okay, 450 to 500. Before Bhaskar Burman came to power. Okay, it was made during that time. This temple resembled like the Gupta architecture. Okay, temple resembled like the Gupta architecture. Okay, Gupta period architecture. So you can see in the picture here. So all this are influenced by the Gupta architecture. Maybe from Gupta dynasty they got some architects and to design the temple and all those. Okay, in this gateway, this picture in this gateway, which is still there by the way, 2 Hindu mythological goddesses are mentioned or shown. One is Ganga, one is Yamuna. So you have here one, another one. Okay, Ganga and Yamuna in Hellenistic art style. Can anyone tell me what is Hellenistic art style?
Sir,
Greek art
European,
Huh?
Greek type.
Not
Greek,
just,
Greek art style.
yeah. So can you explain to me what was Hellenistic? Okay, Greek style, fine, good, you know at least. But what was Hellenistic art style? Can you explain it to me?
Sir,
Huh?
uh, sculpture of gods and goddesses in human form.
Okay, I'll make it very simple for you. Do you know a concept called halo? Halo. Have you heard this word? Halo. There is a song also by Beyonce called Halo. What do you understand by
Yes,
halo?
sir. Divine celestial ring
There is a ring. Ring over what? On what?
over the head, sir.
Over the head. Okay? Over the head. That shows what? Divine powers. Okay? Divine powers. So Greeks used to have this halo around their sculptures. Okay? Even in Buddha in Gandhara, in like Pakistan and Afghanistan Buddha architecture, we see a halo around the head. Okay, so around the head there is a ring. Okay, that was called a halo. From there you come to know that that is a Hellenistic style. Okay, Hellenistic style means Helen. Anyone knows Helen? The Greek goddess.
Yes, Helen of Troy, sir.
Huh? No, not Helen of Troy. Helen is a
No.
goddess in Greek mythology. Okay? Helen is a goddess of Greek mythology. Okay? Whatever you can say, Helen of Troy is a story made from that goddess. Okay? Whatever it is, the daughter of Zeus and all those things are there. But that is different, anyways. So, this Hellenistic style comes from the concept that around the sculpture, they will have a halo around their head. Okay? I'm just making it easier for you to understand. So, they used to have halo around the head. Okay, so that is called Hellenistic style. So if you look very closely, I'll zoom it for you. If you look very closely in the picture, okay, in the picture, can you see around the head there is a ring, this ring, okay? this ring. This is the halo. This is the halo. That is why this was a Hellenistic style of art, which was used by the Guptas, which was used by the Mauryas before the Guptas. Okay, they learned it from the Greeks. They learned it from the Greeks. Mauryans learned it from the Greeks. Fine. Okay, any confusion? All right. So Parvatya temple was excavated in 1924. Okay, it was excavated in 1924. All right. Ahoms also built a temple over the original temple. Okay, they also built the temple, but it was damaged because of an earthquake. Okay, in 1897 there was a huge earthquake in Assam, and during that time the Britishers, when they were excavating this area, they found the original temple. Okay, all the structures were recovered, and they said this is not Ahom style. What is this style? So they did their research and found out that this was actually from the Varman dynasty. Okay, this temple structures come from the ancient period of Assam, probably earlier than Bhaskar Burman. That's what they say. So this is from Burman dynasty. Parvatya temple is from Varman dynasty. Fine. The next temple or next art or architecture is Deopahar or Deopani towards Numaligarh. Okay, towards Numaligarh. All right. This was classified to be of from the period 10th to 11th century. 10th to 11th century. Who was ruling during this time? Who was ruling?
Pala.
Pala was ruling. Okay, so Deopani or Deopahar is attributed to Pala dynasty. Okay, attributed to Pala dynasty. Okay, now this style had lot of black sandstone. Okay, lot of black color sandstone. Okay, and the sculptures around show a lot of intricacies. Like for example, it showed transparent drapery. Transparent drapery means cloth. Okay, cloth. If you see, most of the things are transparent. Limited jewelry, very less jewelry. Okay, drooping eyelids, meaning the eyes of the figures are drooping. Drooping means probably closed eyes. Okay, they were closed eyes. And the body was finely polished. So if you can see the structure, the sculpture, it is black in color and it was polished. Okay, it was polished. All right. Some other characteristic features regarding the sculptures here or the faces they have done is round face with thick lips. So the lips, if you can see, I'll zoom it again for you. If you can see in this below picture, if you can see the lips properly, it's thick in nature. Okay, it's thick in nature here. Okay, it's thick in nature. Then they also showed broad and pointed nose. Broad and pointed nose. So the nose is slightly broken here. Okay, the nose is slightly broken here, but it was pointed. So broad meaning wide nose. Okay, wide nose. Then long ears. So if you can see the ears here, they're long, made very long. Broad forehead. The forehead itself here was broad. And they show long hair and thick eyebrows. So long hair, all this side behind, long hair and thick eyebrows. Okay, thick eyebrows were there. So all this eyebrows. Fine. And the shoulder was broad. The shoulder also was broad. So this was from Deopahar, okay, in Numaligarh area. Okay, Numaligarh area. Attributed to whom? To the Palas. So we discussed a Varman architecture. We discussed the Pala architecture. So if you can see in this photo also on the top, you'll see a lot of faces. If you have time to visit Dio Pahar, please do visit. It's near from your place. Okay, so you will get to know a lot of things what I am trying to explain here. History is better when you experience it in some form. History is not good in a classroom. Okay, if I'm talking, you're listening to lecture, it is not nice to listen. But when you go out there, when you experience it and it remember, oh, sir said like this, oh yes, yes, that is more fun. Okay, that is more fun. History becomes fun then. All right. The next architecture comes from Akashiganga, Parakhwa. That is, you know where Parakhwa is. I don't have to explain, right? So there, inside the forest or inside near the waterfall, there were remains of about 3 temples. Okay, there is an archaeological site called Akashiganga Archaeological Site. Till now it's there. You can go there. There is a picnic spot. There is a stream. There is a waterfall also, small waterfall. So in this area, they found numerous fragments. Okay, they also found temple relics. Okay, they also found stone pillar capitals with carvings, door frames, pedestals. Okay, figurines of dancing Ganas. Ganas, who are the Ganas? Dancing Ganas, what does it mean? Can anyone tell me?
Sir, Ghana means
Means what?
Nasa Rogan Guatu.
Ganas were
The
uh,
tribe of people who used to entertain.
no, Ganas were the attendants according to Hindu mythology. Ganas were attendants of Shiva. Okay, Ganas were attendants of Shiva. Okay, in Hindu mythology. So figurines of these Ganas were there. Floral designs were also found. Okay, and this example of these Ganas and floral designs, it indicated that there was a Shiva temple in this site. Okay, there was a Shiva temple, and one of the pillars resembled the Chalukyan style. Now, can anyone tell me which period this architecture can be from? Which period? Try. Don't keep quiet. Which period?
Gupta Empire.
Huh?
Sir, 8th to 15th century.
Okay. Pala dynasty. Borley has said, mentioned. Remember that Pala king who was defeated by Vikramaditya of Chalukya? Okay. Vikramaditya of Chalukya. He came to Assam, I told you. So probably when he entered Assam, when he defeated the Pala king, Harshapala, he must have built this temple. So no one knows exactly who built it, whether it was Pala or whether it was the Vikramaditya six. But probably it was Vikramaditya people, because we have an evidence of a pillar that resembled the Chalukya style. So when do people erect pillar? When? When is the period when they rule, they put pillar? When they win something. Okay? When you win something, you put pillars. So probably it was by the Chalukya king who established this temple in this site. So it was again from Pala period. Okay? Akakshi Ganga also is referred to Pala period. Alright? Fine. So you can visit this also. It is right next door of your house, you can say. Okay. But most of the relics have been taken out by Archaeological Survey of India. It is in some museums here and there. Okay. But the pillars, some of the pillars are still there. Okay. You can see. The next architecture was Madan Kamdev in Baihata Chariali. Okay. Madan Kamdev. It also dates back to 9th and 10th century during the Pala period. All right. And here also we see lot of dance, lot of erotic postures in this temple. Who was Kamdev? Who was Kamdev?
God of love.
God of love and desire, right? So there was a temple for God of love called Madan Kamdev, built during the period of the Palas. So we have lot of erotic poster. Erotic poster means lot of kissing, lot of this and that are there. Okay, dance also is there. So which is similar to the sculptures of Khajuraho. Anyone know where is Khajuraho? Anyone knows where
Madhya
is?
Pradesh.
Yeah, Madhya Pradesh. So if you look at the temples of Khajuraho, the similar style of postures are mentioned or are sculpted on the walls of Madan Kamdev. Okay, all the walls. So you can see in the picture on the top. So you have some sculptures here where erotic posters and dance were shown. So a question might be asked, which temple of Assam is similar to Khajuraho temple of Madhya Pradesh? So remember, Madan Kamdev. Okay, so I'm not only teaching for APSC, I'm also teaching for ADRE that is coming up. Assam government already has announced that there are, like, they will release 2 lakh government jobs under ADRE and all and such. So please, this class is not only for APSC, for your future examinations also. Okay, so Madan Kamdev, okay, is similar to the temple of Khajuraho. And finally, one of the most classic example of ancient art and architecture in Assam is Hayagriva Madhavdev temple in Hajo. Okay, in Hajo. So it is in Monikut Hills. It is a stone temple. This whole temple is built from one stone. Okay, it is not built brick by brick. It is built on a stone itself. There was a stone like this. They built a temple like that on top of that rock. Okay, so it is again attributed to Pala dynasty. Okay, one of the most striking feature of the temple is the continuous row of elephants. So if you look below at the walls here, can you see the rows of elephants? So these are elephant trunks. Okay, that is the most striking feature of this temple. Okay, that is the most striking feature of the temple, and it has been sculpted on a rock. There is no brick, there is no design. They have sculpted this rock. It was a rock, this whole thing. Okay, a mountain rock, and they built on this. Okay, so can you imagine in 9th, 10th century when the weapons you had were not very advanced like now. Now it's easy. You have a handgun, electrical handgun. You can, with the handgun, you can sculpt so many things, right? But at that time, just with hand and hammer, okay, nails and hammer, they made this. Okay, so it is impressive. Okay, it is very, very impressive. So one of the continuous striking feature is the continuous row of elephants, which is similar to the structures of Ellora. Can anyone tell me where is Ellora?
Maharashtra.
Maharashtra.
Maharashtra. So again in Maharashtra also we have this Ellora caves and all those. Okay, in Ellora caves are also built on rocks. Okay, on mountains. Okay, so they sculpted it out. So remember, Madan Kamdev is similar to Khajuraho. Hayagriva Madhavdev is similar to the Ellora temple of Maharashtra. Okay, Maharashtra. On the outer walls of the shrine, you have relief figures of 10 incarnations of Vishnu. Okay, then Vishnu is there, his 10 incarnation forms are there, devotees are there shown, and episode scenes from Ramayana and Mahabharata. Where is this? You look it up in the walls. See on the walls, can you see all this? Vishnu avatars are there. Okay, all these Vishnu avatars. Then you see scenes from Mahabharata and all on this outer walls. That side also behind. Okay, behind will be there. So please visit all these places. There are so many places inside Assam which are so much of historical importance, and we still like to go to some other places, right? Fine. Any confusion here? We have finished ancient Assam, by the way. I'll take few questions for 2 minutes before we move on to the next topic. Sir, take us out for education tour. I would love to, but who will pay? Who will pay? Tell me that. You sort out the payment. I'll arrange everything. Okay? Because I'm just a teacher. I'm not a rich businessman also, so I cannot afford anyone. खुद के पास ही पैसा नहीं है, कैसे support करेगा? I will definitely love to take you guys. Okay, so we can plan. Okay, after prelims, let's plan something. Okay, after your prelims, at least for 1-2 days we can plan together. Only those who are attending my classes will get the chance, no one else. Okay, so I'll definitely plan something after prelims. All right, and if the mains, if you have a chance to qualify prelims, and if the mains are like, you know, very short, then we'll figure it out maybe before puja or something, or in the winter months. We'll definitely plan, don't worry. Since you mentioned, good idea, thank Tom, very good. You'll have to take the lead then in arranging the people. So anyways, we have completed ancient Assam. Okay, we have completed all the ancient Assam period, the art and architecture of Assam also. Okay, so
Sir.
yeah,
Sir.
yes.
মানে এইটো ইন্দ্ৰপাল আৰু পুণ্ড্ৰবৰ্ধন এইটো সিহঁতৰ ৰিলেশ্যনটো অকণমান বুজাই দিব নেকি?
কোন?
মহেন্দ্ৰ কৈ আছো স্যাৰ।
No. What are you asking?
The relation between Indrapala and Pundrabardhan.
Pondravardan.
That is a little confusion.
Pondravardan is a territory. Okay, এটা জাগাৰ নাম হয় Pondravardan. কোনটো জাগা? নৰ্থ বেংগলত, এতিয়া প্ৰেজেন্ট ডে নৰ্থ বেংগল যোনটো কয় সেইটো Pondravardan বুলি কয়, কৈছিলে এনচিয়েন্ট আসামত। ঠিক আছে?
Thank you, sir.
Pondravardan is not a name of a person. Okay, Pondravardan is a place or a region. Okay, that is present day North Bengal, Darjeeling, Siliguri side. Okay, Siliguri, Darjeeling, all this, Jalpaiguri, all those areas were under Pondravardan region. Okay, fine. Anyways, let's come to the next topic. We will have our ancient is over. I'll cut this screen. We will have our medieval period now. So I have a lot of documents actually. Where is medieval? Yes. Just hold on. So medieval period. Timeline not very important because we are not very sure how was the timeline. Okay, how was the timeline? We are also not very sure. It's considered from 920 to 1100. All right, 920 to 1100. Quickly, we know who was the last king of Pala. Jayapala was the last king. Remember, around 1100 he perished. Okay, by 1100 he was defeated by Rampala of Bengal, and Kamrup comes under Palas of Bengal. Okay, and Palas of Bengal king Rampala, he sent Tingya Deva, a feudal lord. Tingya Deva comes. Okay, he was ruling Assam. Then he also rebelled against his own king Kumarpala, the next king. Because of that, Kumarpala had to send another king, another chief called Vedyadeva, who conquers, who defeats Tingya Deva, and he becomes the first Brahman dynasty in Assam. So if you get a question, which king or who was the first Brahman dynasty king? So remember, it was Vedyadeva. So Vedyadeva was who? A warrior or a general under Kumarpala. But he also loved Northeast. So everyone who comes to Northeast, they fall in love with the place. Then they also see the resources. They also see the magnificent, wildlife and all those things. And they realize, okay, I can be a king here. Okay, I can be a king here. So Vedyadeva was like that, and he was the first Brahman dynasty founder. Okay, he also claimed independence from Kumarpala, and that is mentioned in Karnoli Grant. Okay, fine, fine. All right. So after Vedyadeva, when Vedyadeva started ruling, actually after the fall of Pala dynasty, the whole of Kamrup descended into chaos. The once glorious Kamrup kingdom breaks into constant power struggles. Okay, lot of power struggles between various kings. Tingya came, then Vedyadeva came. Okay, conquering one after another. Okay, conquering one after another. So this is a little bit of timeline for you to understand. Okay, so how many kings came from outside? Just see. See, Tingya came. Who sent him? Rampal sent him from Bengal. So he also started becoming independent in Assam. Then to control Tingya Vedyadeva was sent from Bengal. He also claimed he overthrew Tingya and he also said, I'm also independent. I also want to be independent. Alright. Then this Vedyadeva's dynasty continued, the first Brahman dynasty in Assam, Vedyadeva. So there was Rayari Deva. Okay, Rayari Deva, he came in, he brought Kamrup under a central administration by defeating Vedyadeva. So you can see the whole of Kamrup was after, like everyone wanted a piece of Kamrup at that time. Everyone wanted a piece. Okay, everyone wanted to rule Kamrup around that time. Okay, then next king, all this Udaya Karna and Vallabh Deva. Okay, Udaya Karna and Vallabh Deva. So all these are outsiders mostly. Okay, they are not really indigenous. Okay, so Kamrup descended into chaos. Everyone wanted some form of control in Kamrup. So the Vallabhdeva, who was defeated by Lakshman Sena of Bengal. Okay, so Bengal and Kamrup constantly had fights during that time. So that was the condition of Kamrup: constant wars, constant power changes. Okay, constant power changes. Fine, fine.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir,
Yes.
Vedyadeva কাৰ চিফ আছিলে ছাৰ জয়পালে চেণ্ড কৰিছে নেকি যে টিংগু দেৱৰ হাৰাবলৈ?
Jayapala to মৰি গ'ল না. Look here.
তাৰপিছত এইটো বিদ্যাদেৱাহে হৈছে।
Look in this. Jayapala was the last king. ঠিক আছে? Jayapala last king হয় Palar, who was defeated by Rampala of Bengal. Okay? Who was defeated by Rampala of Bengal. Rampala sent Tingya Deva to rule Kamrup for him. So Tingya Deva ruled for some time, but when Rampala's son Kumarpala became the king, he revolted against the king and he said, I am independent. Tingya Deva said, I am independent from Bengal. I don't want to follow Kumarpala. Who is Kumarpala? He is so young than me. Maybe that was a condition. So Kumarpala had to send another chief or general called Vedyadeva. And Vedyadeva comes into Assam and defeats Tingya and he also rules for some time for Kumarpala, and later on he also said, I also don't want to be under Bengal. Vedyadeva said, I am also going against Kumarpala, so I am also claiming independence. Alright? Independence. ঠিক আছে?
Thank you, sir.
ঠিক আছে? So now, in the map of India, forget the numbers here, we see a rising power in the north of India. That is the Delhi Sultanate. Okay? Around this time, the Delhi Sultanate comes in. Okay, from the west they come, enter, and they start building their empire here. Okay, anyone knows which was the first Sultanate? Indian history. First Sultanate.
So to visit Assam or
No. Just in the first Sultanate dynasty.
Sir Kutubuddin Aibak.
Slave dynasty.
Yeah, slave dynasty. Okay, slave dynasty of Delhi Sultanate were the first sultanates. Okay, so in other parts we see all this Gurjar, Paramar, all these are what? Rajputs. Okay, we see in the south Pandyas, Cheras, all this, like, but in the east it was fragmented. It is everywhere apart from North India, it was under one sultanate. Rest of the countries were still different. Okay, so what happens after the political situation? So we know in Kamrup the political situation is in full chaos. Everyone is fighting for a seat in Kamrup. Everyone wants to rule Kamrup. Okay, sensing these disturbances, we see the Turks or the sultans coming inside Northeast. Okay, coming inside Northeast. Now what is happening inside Northeast? In the east, we see the Kacharis rising on the south bank. In the west, we see the Sutias or Tiura. Okay, Tiura people. Sutia or Tiura people ruling on the north bank of Assam. And this area was controlled by some other king called KAMATA Kamrup. It was under some kings and chiefs and all those. So much problem was going on here. Okay. In Manipur, we see Kangleipak. Jaintia kingdom was there and Tripura kingdom was there. Tripura. Okay. This was going on around that time, after the Palas, right? So understand this. So during this time, we see a force coming from north of India, okay, from the western side. They are called the Turks or the Sultanates, who tried that, okay, Bengal is in chaos, the northeast is in chaos, let us take advantage and capture them. Okay, so around this time, around 1200s, after Vallabh Deva and all these political leaders who were ruling Assam, there was a king in Kamrup. He was known as King Prithu. Very, very important for you. Okay, why Prithu is important? Why is Prithu important?
asking for the Ahom kingdom?
Huh? Why is Prithu important for this year?
From the current affairs, sir, I forgot about all this.
Yeah, current affairs. Wow.
Maybe flyover.
Yeah, one big flyover is there in Guwahati for connecting from zoo to, till crossing Digoli Pukri, the longest flyover. It's named after Prithu, King Prithu. Okay, fine. He is not an Ahom. Don't make this mistake. He is not an Ahom. We have not reached Ahom till now. All right, we have not reached Ahom till now. Ahom comes much later. Before that, so many leaders were there, so many kings were there. Okay, so King Prithu was ruling in Kamrup at that time. He was known as Vishwa Sundara Deva. Okay, his other name was Vishwa Sundara Deva. He was also known as Birthu. Okay, he was also known as Birthu. He was also known as Jalpeswara. He was also known as Jalpeswara. All right. So he took some areas of Bengal under him, and he also was an independent ruler at that time. Now, no one exactly knows did he follow a dynasty or not, but whatever it is, he was ruling in Assam at that time. He was ruling. Where does this source come from? From Gotstall inscription, from Kanai Borosi rock inscription in North Guwahati. It's mentioned about King Prithu. Okay, it is mentioned about King Prithu. So during this time, I said, sensing the troubles in the east, the first Turk invasion happens, led by Muhammad bin Bakhtiar Khilji, around 1205 to 206. He comes inside Assam or inside Kamrup. Where is this source coming from? This source is coming from a text called Tabakat-e-Nasiri, very, very important, written by Minhas-ul-Siraj. All right. Now, Bakhtiar Khalji's role inside Assam, he did not actually come to conquer Assam. Okay, he did not plan actually. He was going towards Tibet. Okay, he wanted a route towards Tibet so that he can control the Silk Route. Okay, so that he wanted to control the trade in the Silk Route. Okay, but finding the problems of Bengal, he sensed that, okay, there are kingdoms this side also, let me just take it. That's what he thought. So he was guided by a Mek chief, okay, a village chief from Mek origin or Mes Kosari origin. And this person was Ali Mes, because he is the first Assamese to convert to Islam. Okay, who is the first Assamese to convert to Islam? A tribal man. The first Assamese to convert into Islam is a tribal man called Ali Mes. Can you ever, I'm not discriminating the Islam religion, but can you ever imagine it was possible? It is possible now. A tribal man converting into Islam at this present day. Is it possible? I'm asking you just out of just talking points. Is it possible for a tribal man now?
Less chance.
Maybe, sir, maybe.
Is it possible? You think in this present scenario, when all the Muslim people are targeted as anti-India or anti, Assamese, who would like to take that tag, right? It's very difficult now. But at that time, whatever the conditions was, Ali Mes, maybe he found something in the learnings of Bakhtiyar Khilji, so he converted himself. So he was guiding Bakhtiyar Khilji inside Assam. Okay, he was guided. He was a guide for Bakhtiyar Khilji. However, King Prithu defeated Bakhtiyar Khilji. So that is why he is important. King Prithu defeated Bakhtiyar Khilji in the battle, okay, which is again mentioned in Kanai Borosi inscription. Okay, Kanai Borosi inscription. After Bakhtiyar Khilji, after 20-25 years, we see another Turk or Sultan coming inside Assam, who was known as Ghiyasuddin Iwas Khilji. Around 1227, he comes inside Assam. Who was he? He was the governor of Bengal under Sultan Iltutmish. So he was ruling Bengal on behalf of the Sultan Iltutmish. Okay, you must have heard this name, Iltutmish. All right. And Ghiyasuddin Iwas was very, very successful in coming as far as Nagaon. Okay, in coming as far as Nagaon. Fine. But again, he was also faced with Prithu. Prithu was defending Assam from these Muslim invasions. But Ghiyasuddin Khilji had to return because the son of Iltutmish called Nasiruddin, he invaded Bengal. Okay, Nasiruddin, the son of Iltutmish, maybe some problem was going on between father and son. The son was like, give me a territory. The son was like, give me Bengal. Iltutmish, the Sultan, must be like, you don't deserve it. So they had a fight, they had a fallout. So he invaded Bengal, and because of this, Ghiyasuddin had to return back. Okay, Ghiyasuddin had to return back to Bengal. And there, Ghiyasuddin was killed by Nasiruddin. Now, sensing this, why did Ghiyasuddin enter inside Assam? Nasiruddin also came inside. He wanted to find out what was the reason. Okay, he invaded Assam and he killed Prithu. So finally, Prithu dies in this period. In the second invasion, okay, of Turks, Prithu dies defending his motherland. Okay, Prithu dies. Who killed him? Nasiruddin. Okay, Nasiruddin kills him. Then Nasiruddin placed a person called Sandhya, another important king. He placed Sandhya as a vassal king of Nasiruddin. So Nasiruddin takes over Bengal and he placed a local person called Sandhya as a vassal who was responsible to give tax to Nasiruddin. So let's talk about this King Sandhya. Okay, initially Sandhya was a vassal, but he had an alliance with the Sutiya kings. Remember, in the east, You had a kingdom called the Sutiyas. They were growing in power around this side. And in the southern side, we had the Kachari king. So King Sandhya made an alliance with Sutiyas. Okay. What is the reason? Actually, King Sandhya was expanding that side. He could not face the Sutiyas. So instead of fighting directly, he said, let's just be friends. Okay. That's what it is. Now with the alliance with Sutiyas, he became very, very confident. Okay. He became confident against the Sultan. And he stopped paying tribute. Not only that, he also captured Gora and Goreshwar, which was your Bengal area, this side. Gora. He captured all these areas from the Sultan. Okay. He became confident. Because of this, the third Turkish invasion happens inside Assam, led by Tugril Khan. Okay, a general called Tugril Khan. He was also the governor of Bengal after Nasiruddin. So Tugril Khan comes around 1256, 1257. Source, the literary source is Tariq-e-Firoz Shahi by Barani. Okay, this is a book written by Barani. Tugril Khan came with a large army and he lost to Sandhya's army. Why? Because Sandhya was well known with guerrilla warfare. Anyone knows what is guerrilla warfare? Anyone knows what is guerrilla warfare?
Yes, sir.
Hide and seek war.
Hiding and killing. Right? Hiding and killing. So what did Sandhya do? When they saw this Tugril Khan camping in an area, okay, in an area, a plain area, he means Sandhya allowed his soldiers to break some embankments of the rivers. Okay, and when they broke the embankment, whole campsite was flooded, and almost 1 lakh, maybe around that 80-90,000 people were killed. Okay, it was washed away. Okay, it was washed away around that time. So Sandhya was a master of guerrilla warfare, and he was also strong because of this alliance with Sutiya kings. Okay, after defeating Tugril Khan, Sandhya moves his capital to Kamalpur, which is near present-day Kuch Bihar. Okay, which is near present-day Kuch Bihar, and there he takes the name Kamateshwar. Okay, Kamateshwar. So he built a new capital called Kamatapur. Okay, he built a new capital called Kamatapur in Kamalpur near Kuch Bihar, and he takes the title as Kamateshwar. From then on, it was known, this area was known as Komata Kamrup. Why? The capital was somewhere here in Kuch Bihar. Okay, somewhere here in Kuch Bihar. This was Kamatapur. Okay, and all the kings ruling from Kamata to Kamrup came to be known as Kamateshwar from then on. Okay, from then on. So Sandhya was followed by his own lineage, Sindhurai or Rajeshwar, Rupnarayan and Singhadwaj. Okay, Rupnarayan and Singhadwaj. Sadly, Singhadwaj, the last of Kamata king, the last of Sandhya dynasty, was killed by his own minister called Pratapdhwaj in 1305, 1325. Okay. Now, this was a question in mains. Okay. What was the significance of King Prithu and Sandhya's reign in Assam history? Just give me a few points. Why are the kings Sandhya and your Prithu were important?
Prithu was important because he was the first king to defend the Muslim invasion.
Okay, fine. Then what else? Give me some points. It's a 10-mark question. So if you give one line, you'll not get 1 mark. No. At least give me 4-5 points for this class. The rest of you also try.
Sir, principles of Dharma Yuddha.
They were all Hindu kings. Okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
They were all Hindu kings, so a foreign religion came that time. So they were protecting their land, they're protecting their faith. Okay, fine. Any other reason?
Expert in guerrilla warfare.
Sir,
Expert in
beating,
guerrilla warfare.
Expert in
sir,
guerrilla
beating
warfare.
Bakhtiar Khilji.
Sorry?
Sir, beating Bakhtiar Khilji.
Defeating Bakhtiar Khilji. You have to realize one important point you're missing out, that during that period of time, Kamrup was in chaos. So these kings made a stable government in Kamrup, right? Most of you are focusing on religious line and Muslim invaders. Those are not good points, I'm telling you. Although it might sound like, oh, they protected the Hindu faith and all those, these are nonsense. Don't write so much of religion context in your mains paper. Okay, I'm telling you a trick. Okay, don't be so ethno-religious or ethnocentric. Okay, you have to figure out different perspective. Yes, one of the perspective here touch is, okay, they stopped the Mughal, sultans coming inside Assam. Fine, that is one point itself. All right. Second point is the political development. That perspectives, political development was there in Kamrup. Kamrup was descended into chaos after the Palas. So they consolidated a political power when whole of Kamrup was in chaos. That is a second perspective. So give me another new perspective. Try. I'm giving you 1 minute to think. Try. Give me a new perspective.
Shifting capital Kamrup Nagar to Kamatapur.
Yes. Why did they shift the capital to Kamatapur? That is a new perspective. Yes, good, Mahendra. But what was the reason?
To have a stable kingdom.
No. There is a reason why he moved to.
Expanding, yeah, and expanding his territories up to Gora, etc. Sir.
Okay. So he
Because he was the
expanded.
founder of Kamatapur.
Yes. He expanded his kingdom. These kings did not feel scared to fight enemies. They expanded their territories. They expanded their reach. Most of the time what happens when you lose a battle or when enemies keeps trying, most of the time we try to move the capital away from enemy attacks, but they move right in front of the enemies. That shows confidence, that shows power. Okay, so that was one new perspective. All right, fine. Let's come to the next topic. So Kamatapur, you know now, no? How did Assam became Kamatapur? Now you know. From Kamrup, how did it become Kamatapur? Now you know. Okay. So if you hear this word Kamatapur, 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 just know how it began. Okay, because Sandhya moved his capital to Kamatapur, and from there on, all the people, all the kings ruling that area were known as Kamateshwar. Okay, Kamateshwar. Fine. So like I said, the last of Sandhya line was killed, that is Singhadwaj, was killed by his minister called Pratap Dhwaj in 1305, 1325. Okay. Now this was the map in 1300s in Assam. Same in the east, Kacharis were there. On the south bank, in the north bank, Sutias were there. Manipur, Tripura, alright. This was the case. Now this was Kamatapur, the whole of thing. Now we'll see this Kamata kingdom also split after this. Okay, this whole area was under Kamata kings. all these areas towards Bengal, the whole of Bengal, it was under KAMATA kings. Fine. So we will discuss that now. All right. So Pratap Dhwaj, remember this character, he was a minister. Okay, he was a minister of Singhadwaj. He killed his own king and he takes the throne. Okay, he takes the throne. All right, he takes the throne. Now after him, there was a little bit of problem in KAMATA kingdom. There were two contenders, Dharmanarayan and Durlabh Narayan. Okay, two contenders comes out. Dharmanarayan, who was a cousin of Pratap Dhwaj, wanted to take the throne, and Durlabh Narayan, who was a son or from same lineage, he wanted to take the throne. So because of this constant power struggles, they fought with one another. They had one fight with one another. So both of them are cousins. So among your own brothers, among your own people, sometimes we have fights, right? So both of them were fighting for the throne. Okay, both of them started fighting. Dharmanarayan was ruling in the Kamatapur area. Okay, he took over the Kamatapur side, and Durlabh Narayan, he took over the eastern side, that is your Kamrup area. So constant fight was going on. Okay, constant fight. Because of this constant fight, they finally decided in 1330 that came to a peace treaty. So it was decided the Kamatapur kingdom, the Kamata kingdom will be divided into two, west and east. East, that is Kamrup, went to Durlabh Narayan, and the west, that is your Coach Bihar area, went to Dharmanarayan. Okay, so we see in the map, this eastern side comes under Durlabh Narayan, and the western side comes under Dharmanarayan. Fine. So we see division of Kamata kingdom at this juncture. So 1330, we had a split of Kamata kingdom. Fine. So what was the areas? Rangpur, Mymensingh, and East Kamata was from Coach Bihar to Gwalpara and Kamrup. So all the lower Assam side, okay, we saw division. Rangpur, Mymensingh are in Bangladesh area. Okay. In the peace treaty, there was a peace treaty. In the peace treaty, as a sign of goodwill by Dharmanarayan, who was the uncle of Durlabh Narayan, he also gifted 14 families of Brahmins and Kayast. Who are the Kayast? They used to keep records or accounts. Okay, these 14 families come inside Assam on the request of Durlabh Narayan. Durlabh Narayan said, "Uncle, you gave me the kingdom, fine, but I also need learned people. Okay, I also need learned people to rule. So please give me something." So uncle, out of goodwill, since they were signing a peace treaty, sent 14 families of Brahmins and Kayas to Durlabh Narayan. And these families was led by a leader called Chandivar, who was the great-grandfather of Shankardev. This is the beginning of Shankardev family in Assam. In what time period? 1330 onwards. Okay, so Chandivar, the great-grandfather of Shankardev, was leading these 14 families, and they come inside Assam. So Durlabh Narayan gave them families in Bordoa, Nagaon. Okay, this is also important information. Why it is important information? Can anyone tell me from current affairs point of view? Can anyone tell me? Current affairs. Recently, Chief Minister of Assam announced something in that area. Right? Do you know this or not? Are you guys there or slept off?
Sir, question to ki asle?
Why is it important, Bordoa?
Birthplace of Srimanta Shankardev.
Yeah, so this picture, can you see? Bordoa Than. Now, cultural project is coming up in that area, announced by your chief minister. Okay, so where did it begin? By Chandivar, the great grandfather of Shankardev, who came with 14 families. Okay, because there was a peace treaty between KAMATA and KAMATA West. Okay, KAMATA kingdom split. So because of that, Chandivar came from this side and were given land here in Nagaon area. Okay, given lands here. So remember, Shankardev's line began here in 1330 when his great grandfather came inside Assam. They were originally from Bangladesh. Now it might sound funny, the cultural icon of Assam is from Bangladesh, but that was a different time. That was also part of Assam at that time, right? So as at the end, we are all of the same people. Okay, all of the same people. Fine. Understanding? Okay. All right. So we see KAMATA kingdom split into two, KAMATA West and KAMATA East. KAMATA West was ruled by your uncle Dharmanarayan, and KAMATA East was ruled by the son of Pratapdhwaj, or the son of Pratapdhwaj, Durlabh Narayan. All right. So KAMATA kingdom splits into two. So from Kamrup, from Pragjyotispur, from the names, from Pragjyotispur, we know the origin of Pragjyotispur. There are two theories of Pragjyotispur. One was the Chautias theory, the other one was Brahma counting stars. Then the name of Kamrup, we know how it came. Kamdev story and all those Santhali word, right? Those are Kamrup. Now it is known as KAMATA. Okay, KAMATA Kamrup. We also know how KAMATA name came up because of Sandhya moving his capital to Kamalpur near Kuch Bihar. Okay, from there we see the name of Assam as KAMATA. Okay, KAMATA Kamrup. Fine. Important for your art and culture. Who were the court poets of Durlabh Narayan? Okay, who were the court poets? There was one poet called Hema Saraswati who wrote Prahlad Charitra, Haragori, okay, and Sambat. Then Ram Saraswati who wrote Jayadratha Vada. Harihar Vipra was another writer at that time in the court of Durlabh Narayan who wrote Babru Bahanor Yudh, Lava Kushor Yudh, and Tamradwajar Yudh. Okay, Tamradwajar Yudh. Interesting story of Babru Bahanor Yudh. I'll tell you if you can see below. Babru Bahanor Yudh is a story about Arjun who was married to Chitragandha, his second wife from Northeast. Okay, and his son. Okay, his son was Babru Bahana from this marriage, who by mistake, not knowing his father, by mistake killed his own father. So Babru Bahan actually killed Arjun in the story. Why? Because Babru Bahan was not really raised by Chitragandha, because Chitragandha died giving birth to him. So he was raised by a Naga princess called Ulupi, who was the first wife of Arjun from Northeast. Okay, that is the story of Babru Bahanor Yudh. So the story goes like, in short, Babru Bahana did not know that his father was Arjun, and his mother, the stepmother, Ulupi, she also never mentioned that Arjun was his father. Okay, so Arjun left Northeast fighting wars here and there. So in one of the battle, when he came inside Northeast, Babru Bahan was the warrior he had to face. Okay, and Babru Bahan was so strong that he killed his own father Arjun. All right. Now Ulupi was a little bit of magician. She had a gem. Okay, she had a gem, a stone. That stone could revive anyone. All right. So when Ulupi learned that Babru Bahan's son had killed his own father, she was astonished, she was shocked, and she said to Babru Bahan that time that, Babru Bahan, he is actually your father. And that's when she revived Arjun again, and they, long story short, they lived happily ever after. All right, whatever it is. So that was the story in short. Okay, Babru Bahanor Yudh. All right. So that story was written by Harihar Bipro. Okay, Harihar Bipro, the court poet of Durlabh Narayan. All right. So these are some important things that happened during that period. Okay, during that period. Fine. Any questions? Quickly, 1 minute. Any questions so far? Any questions? Okay. All right. Fine. After Durlabh Narayan in the east, Kamata kingdom went to Indra Narayan. Okay. Kamata of the east went to Indra Narayan. Okay. He comes in power from 1350 to 1365. During that time, we had the fourth Turkish invasion. Fourth Turkish invasion led by Sikandar Shah, who was ruling Bengal at the time. So he defeats Kamatapur West and then he comes inside Kamatapur East. He reached as far as Kopili Valley. Okay, he reached as far as Kopili Valley. So Kamatapur king Indra Narayan had to tie up with local chiefs called Bhuyas. Okay, so these are important people. Local chief, local warriors called Bhuyas. So he had a alliance with Bhuyas and together they defeated the armies of Sikandar Shah. And from here we see the rise of these local chieftains called Bhuya. Okay, local chieftains called Bhuya. Who are the Bhuyas? They are landowners of different ethnic religious groups. Okay, they were not one religious group, one ethnic group. They might have been Boro, they might have been so many things. Okay, they came to prominence after the fall of ancient Kamrupa. So when Pala kingdom fell, Bhuyas became one of the leaders in some parts of Assam. Okay, they were chiefs. They were not even kings. They were not royals. They were mostly soldiers. They were mostly landlords. Okay, they were mostly landowners. So they started getting some autonomy around Kamrup. They started saying to the king that this is our area, don't come. Like, you know. So constantly they fought with the kings. But when it came to invasions, Indra Narayan had to request the Bhuyas that please, chiefs, help me regarding this foreigner, Sikandar Shah. We have to defeat him. So they came up. Okay, so they were like mercenaries of those times. Okay, they were like mercenaries. You pay them, they will come. Okay, you pay them well, they'll come to fight for you. All right, so they were one of the political power wielders of that time. So we see the rise of Bhuyas here. Anyone who is from Bhuya family, Bhuya descendants, the surname Bhuya. Okay, fine. So after Sashanka, after Indra Narayan, we see another king called Sashanka. Okay, in eastern Kamatapur, we see a king called Sashanka. Okay, king called Sashanka. He was also known as Arimata. Okay, he was also known as Arimata. He was a Bhuya from Dorong, they say. He was a Bhuya from Dorong. So what did he do? He overthrew his own king, Indra Narayan, and he claimed Kamatapur East. Arimata claimed Kamatapur East. Now he moved his capital from eastern side. He built a capital called Vidyanagar, which is near Rongya. Okay, Rongya. So he moved his capital from Kamrup to Vidyanagar. He was followed by his sons Gajanka, Sukranka, Mriganko. Okay, sons and descendants Gajanka, Sukranko, and Mriganko. All right, they ruled from 1415 to 1440. What are the sources? There is this Pukri, Raina Pukri in Rongya, which he built, they say, which Arimata built. Then there is this temple Bhairabeshwari temple near Goreswar Rongya again, which he built, they say, alongside a water tank near that temple, okay, which we built, okay, which he built. So who are these Bhuyas again? I'm asking you, all of you, who were these Bhuyas?
Say mercenaries.
Then
So Bhuyas, are they from the same ethnic group?
No.
They were not from one ethnic group, okay? They were a mix of people. They could have been Kosari, they could have been a, Tiwa or Chutias or whatever, okay? Now I'll tell you one difference between Tiwa and Sutia. Do you know the difference between Sutia and Tiwa? Do you know that they are related? Sutias and Tiwas, they are related. Okay.
Yes, sir. No.
So Tiwas are also a branch of Kachari, okay? Because Sutias are also a branch of Kachari, all right? Sutia Kosari we call them. So these Tiwas, they came to this Morigaon, Nagaon areas much later. They were related. Sutias and Tiwas are related by marriage, okay? By one side, mother side, okay? They were related. So these Tiwas, when they were pushed towards Morigaon and all because of Ahom, like when Ahom captured Sutia, they dispersed the whole people. Okay, they dispersed the whole people, Sutia people, into different areas of Ahom, and some of them settled in Morigaon area, and they got married with other Kacharis and other tribes. So they themselves started calling themselves as we are the Tiwas. So they are related. Sutia, that's why the name also, Sutiya Tiwa. Okay, the descendants of that mix are called as Tiwas. All right. If you remember, the Ahom name of Sutia was known as, or the Sutias, they used to call their kingdom not as Sutia, they used to call their kingdom as Tiura. Tiura. Okay, Tiora or Tiura. If you remember, Tripura, the real name of Tripura is actually, the pronunciation is Tipura. Okay, Tipura. If you find the similarity, the Dimasa's kingdom was also called as Dimasa. Okay, Dimasa. So there is a Kochari word called Tui or Dewey. Okay, I'll write it in the chat. There is a Kochari word called Tui or Dui, which means water. Okay, water. So how did the Dimasa name come up? They said we are Dimasas because we cross this water. Okay, Dimasa says we cross this Dui. That's why we are called the sons of the Dui, okay, or Dimasa, right? What did Tripura say? Tripura said, we also, at some point of time, we also crossed a large river called Tui, okay, or Dui, and then we settled here. That's why we are known as Tiprasa. So at the end of the story, if you just formalize and generalize, they are all related. They are all of the same ethnic group. Okay, they are all of the same ethnic group. Tiprasa, Dimasa, Sutia, they are all of the similar group. Even Boro Kosari, Mek Kosari, okay, they became different, however, in the later periods of time, but their origins are same story. Okay, origins are same story. Boro says, since we could not cross the river, because they were mostly in the northern bank, we could not cross the river, we became Boro. Okay, fine. Interesting about this people in Northeast. Okay, so at the end, Northeastern people, most of them are related to one another. They can say we are Kuki, we are Naga, whatever. Kuki, Naga, these are names given by outsiders. Among themselves, they have their own names. Okay, so this was all about your in medieval period beginning. Okay, we find the story of Shashanka or Arimata. In this case, in the place of Arimata, there is a story going on called the Jungol Bolohu. There is a statue also of Jungol Bolohu in Roha. So who was this Jungol Bolohu? Can anyone tell me? Who was this Jungol Bolohu? Some say this Mriganka himself was Jungol Bolohu. Some will say no, Jungol Bolohu is different. Alright. So the source of Jungol Bolohu story is a little different, a little unpredictable. No one exactly knows who was Jungol Bolohu. Now, like you remember, Sandhya made an alliance with Sutiyas, remember? So the mix of people that came out were known as the Tiwas. Okay, the Tiwas. Okay, Sutiya plus Kamatapur marriage people, those who got married in Kamatapur, the descendants later on started calling themselves as Tiwas. Okay, Tiwas. Fine. Now, how can you might say, sir, how can you be so sure if they themselves don't consider it? They will not consider it because Tiwas are different now, Sutiyas are different, right? They will always say we are different. Like how you say Karbi and Jaintias are different now. But at the one point of time, you also know that you guys stayed together with Khasi and Jaintia people. The Karbi people also stayed with Khasis and Jaintia people. That's why you are in that area together. So if you see Tiwa, after Tiwa, you see Sutiya people. Okay. So that is the idea. I'm giving you a perspective from anthropology, not from historical perspective. When you do the blood phenotype and all those, you'll find similarities all between all the Kosari groups. All right. So this Tiwas had a king, they said, who was known as Jungol Bolohu. Okay, who was known as Jungol Bolohu. And during that time, Tiwa and Kasari kingdom had a lot of problems. So he was fighting the Kasari actually. So he was married to a Naga princess called Hukomola. Okay. Jungol Bolohu was married to a Naga princess called Hukomola. I'll write it down. Okay. Wife of Jungol Bolohu, Hukomola. Okay. So they were in battle against the Kacharis. Okay. This Tiwa king. So because of that battle, the Kachari king deceived the father of Sukomola and said, if you tell your daughter that Jungol Bolohu carries a sword, if you tell her to bring that sword, I'll give you everything you ask. The Kachari king deceived the Naga warrior. So out of that, Sukomola deceived his own, her own husband, and the sword that he used to use to fight was given to the Kachari king, and because of that he lost his battle according to the legends. Okay, these are legendary stories, not historical. So because of that he lost the battle because he did not have his power in his hand. Okay, and some say he, to escape from the Kachari's death penalty, he jumped into Kopili river and drowned there. Okay, that's the story of Jungol Bolohu. Now in historical perspective, whether he was a real person or whether he was just a myth, we do not know yet. Not so much evidence is there. However, to keep the sentiments of Tiwa people, we say he was a king of Tiwa origin. Okay, but some of the historical sources or historians say that he was none other than the last king of Arimata line called Mriganka. Okay, some historians also refer to him as Mriganka. Okay, so whatever it is, at least we have a perspective of an idea who was Jungol Bolohu and all those people. Okay, fine. Fine. All right, so we'll stop here for today. Okay, till Jungol Bolohu, till the last of KAMATA king. Okay, tomorrow we'll discuss Sutiya and Kosari if we can finish Sutiya kings and Kosari. So any questions here? All right, then we'll see you tomorrow.